Velodrome's native token called VELO woke up much like I predicted. And even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, it's having a slight pullback as of right now. However, this doesn't, necessarily concern me because $5 for VELO is still my price target for this bull run, and I'm not changing that. Now, some people may think this is crazy or this is insane, but I disagree because let's face it, decentralized exchanges, people like it. They love DeFi projects, just generally speaking, these decentralized finance projects. And Velodrome is exactly that. Now, is Velodrome going to become, the next, best decentralized exchange out there? Like, no. Like, I don't think I can defeat like a Uniswap, for instance, but it doesn't really matter because even if we take a look at Uniswap's native token called Uni, now Uniswap is often regarded as like the number one decentralized exchange. Even besides that, Uni back in 2021, right? It reached a market cap of over $20 billion. So that's pretty impressive, especially for like a DeFi project. But on the flip side, if VELO were to go to the price of $5, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $4.5 billion. But still, even despite that, achieving just a glimpse of like Uni, let's say, in terms of like market cap, at least what it reached at one point, right? That right there, again, $5 is already over a 20x from here. So you could only imagine that. VELO doesn't need to be the next Uni. It just has to be a glimpse of that. And it's already spectacular. And some people may think that, oh yeah, over 20x doesn't seem that bad. More specifically, this is around a 23x. Again, people may think that's kind of caca. But when I consider how much VELO has pumped already, again, much like I predicted, it doesn't seem so bad. At least that's the way I view it. Now, another thing that people may argue when it comes to Velodrome is the fact that adoption isn't going to be the best in the next 6 months to a year. But it doesn't really matter in my opinion, because in the world of cryptocurrencies, people usually care about anticipated adoption as opposed to current adoption. Because take a look at Solana. That doesn't have the best adoption out there, but it's doing very well. But here's the thing, people often say that, oh yeah, Solana could have good adoption in the future. But again, it doesn't have good adoption yet, and it's still doing very well. Again, people care about anticipated adoption as opposed to current adoption. Because let's face it, Solana is primarily known for having meme coins. It's cool, however, it doesn't have good adoption in my opinion. If they cared about it so much, many of the projects that we see, it wouldn't really pump, in my opinion. But a lot of them are, like at least the popular ones, right? But even besides that, people often judging Velodrome based off of its adoption, I think doesn't really make sense because this is like, let's say, evaluating like LeBron James on his ability to ice skate. It doesn't really matter in my opinion. It's like, for instance, when I was growing up, what was I wildly known for amongst my friends and also like my neighbors and stuff like that? It was the fact that even like just like starting off, right? I was already very good at building Legos. Like even when I was like, in second, third grade, I was already building Legos that were like the most difficult. Everyone would buy it and they would tell me, hey, dude, can you do this Lego for me? And I would do it so quickly, so efficiently. But that talent, quote unquote, or like that skill, what has that done for me? Like absolutely nothing. I mean, come on, let's be real, right? Like that's like a useless skill to have. Like building Legos, at least personally for me, I didn't see any use case in that. But you know what? You give me any Lego set, I can build it so quickly, so amazingly. But again, even besides that point, it doesn't really matter, right? Much like the adoption of Velodrome, it wouldn't really matter in my opinion. Not to mention, Velodrome, I think, is clearly in the right place because after all, it is a decentralized exchange on Optimism. And when you take a look at Optimism, I think it's only fair to assume that adoption is going to continue to grow. We're seeing a lot of hype when it comes to Optimism. And why not, right? Optimism is an Ethereum layer 2. Ethereum, it has Kaka drawbacks. Let's face it, sky-high gas fees. It's arguably not even scalable. So it needs to rely on something like Optimism to allow for it to be enjoyed while at the same time not having to deal with that Kaka nonsense. It's only fair to assume that as Ethereum grows, Optimism is going to grow. Also a bunch of other layer 2s, of course, but I'm saying in this case, Optimism. And I think naturally, something like Velodrome is going to go along with the ride. Take a look at Solana. When Solana pumped, what grew along with it? Jupiter, a very famous decentralized finance project, aka a DeFi project, right? I don't see why as Optimism continues to grow, as the bull run continues to go into third gear, fourth gear, and even fifth gear, because I think as of right now, we're only in second gear. I think that VELO really is going to go along with the ride. And even if you take a look at Charles Hoskinson, who is not only the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano, according to Charles, he could very well see, Bitcoin in the next 1 to 2 years, based on a video that he was on, or in, I should say, on November 26th, right? he said that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching the price of either $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So 500K basically, right? If Bitcoin even just reaches 250,000, which I think is way more realistic than 500,000, but even besides that point, we never know, right? I think at that point, $5 for Velo may seem a little bit bearish. That's just my opinion. But am I still going to change my price target? No, I'm going to stand by that. And I'm still going to continue to accumulate Velo because I think, again, $5 is still over 20x from here. Doesn't seem that bad. And you know what? Even if Velo goes to the price of $3 or $4, I'm still going to be accumulating Velo because the way I view it is that rather than having that cash sitting in my bank account where it's kind of doing nothing, I'd much rather put it to use, so to speak, even though, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. This is not financial advice. But here's the thing as well. Velodrome, it's focused on the right market because the decentralized finance market, according to Grandview Research, is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. Now, it's not like this is really going to matter because, I think things are going to shine in 2025, 2030 is still like ages away at this point. But you know what? Again, this is going to be a major factor because people care about the anticipated adoption that Velodrome could have. And if they see that Velodrome is a very amazing decentralized exchange, which some people are beginning to see, I think they're going to say that, wow, it's focused on the right market, an amazing project. This could very well be such a big narrative, especially during this bull run. I think Uniswap, PancakeSwap, they were good back in 2021, but as of right now, we're looking for the new, flashy, a far more interesting decentralized exchange, much like Velodrome. And here's the crazy thing. If you've heard about Aerodrome, which is a very popular decentralized exchange on the Base network, and the Base network is Coinbase's layer 2 network, but even besides that point, that actually, again, Aerodrome is a fork of Velodrome, which is kind of insane to think about because Aerodrome is considerably larger than Velodrome in terms of, fans, hype, and everything, right? But then the way I take a look at it is that if I'm bullish on Aerodrome, I want to be bullish on Velodrome. Velodrome, it's kind of like the originator, so to speak, in a sense, right? It's kind of like the daddy, right? Aerodrome, sure, it's cool, but you know what? It's actually a fork of Velodrome. I'm bullish on both, though. Don't get it twisted. I'm very bullish on both, but in my opinion, if I'm bullish on Aerodrome, I'm going to be bullish on Velodrome as well, which is why, again, $5 during this bull run really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think its future could look so bright, and I think this bull run could be so amazing, but I'm still staying patient, and I'm not giving up because, again, $5, that really wouldn't shock me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.